Hi, we want to talk a little bit about luster as it refers to minerals. Luster can help you in your initial separation of the minerals into categories. Normally, we start out by deciding if a mineral has a metallic or non-metallic luster. So things that are metals look like metals. Here's an example of something with a metallic luster. And in fact, one of the easy ways to tell if something's metallic or not is to try to draw on a streak plate with it. So in your lab kit, you had a small piece of unglazed porcelain. That's your streak plate. I'm going to use a bigger tile. This is just the back side, the unglazed side of a tile that I bought at a home improvement store. So with your substance, if you think your mineral is metallic, you try to draw on it. And if you leave a colored mark, then it's either something with an earthy luster or something with a metallic luster. Earthy would mean it was completely non-shiny. And I know that is not the case with this. This is a very shiny mineral sample. So I know it's metallic. Here is a sample, a pretty little green mineral, and it doesn't look shiny to me. So I'm going to try to draw on it again on the back of my streak plate, my unglazed porcelain. And you can see that what I've been left with is a green scratch. So this is an example of something with an earthy luster. Sometimes it's called a dull luster. It doesn't look shiny, but it leaves a streak on the streak plate. This is a mineral that feels really soft when I pick it up, and when it's kind of shiny, but not really shiny. It does not look like a piece of metal. It's too shiny to be something that's earthy, and it feels so soft in my hand when I touch it. And in fact, it is a piece of talc. It is so soft I can scratch it with my fingernail, and the little powder that I'm creating is really, really soft on my fingertip. Talcum powder is made from ground up talc. Here is a mineral that does look shiny. It looks a little metallic, and in fact when I try to draw on the streak plate with it, I get a really nice streak associated with it. This is a piece of graphite like you find in the end of a pencil. So it is metallic. Sometimes they describe graphite as having an oily or a greasy luster, but I would go with just metallic if I were trying to write it down, to try to identify what it was if I didn't know. This is a piece of salt. It's a very large salt crystal. You'll notice that it's got a nice box or cube shape to it. It is a little shiny in the light, but it is not a piece of metal. If I try to draw on the streak plate with it, I might have a little ground up mineral, but if so, it's going to look white, and we don't consider white to be a streak. So it is non-metallic and non-earthy. And in fact, for things that are shiny like this, but they're not metals, we refer to them as having a vitreous luster. So vitreous means shining like glass or plastic. It might look to you a little like it's plastic. Here's a bigger piece of salt. It doesn't have the same shape as the other. It's been worn down. It does have some straight flat sides to it. This is a pretty little quartz crystal. The end is actually a crystal. Maybe you can see that. And then as the mineral was growing, it happened a little more rapidly back here, and it looks more milky white. So not the same as the little crystal growing on the tip. It is shiny, but it's not shiny like a metal. It's shiny like glass, and so quartz is vitreous, and if we try to draw on it with this, draw on the streak plate with it, we wouldn't get a streak. Let's see. Oh, this one. This is shiny like a piece of metal. It's very heavy when I pick it up. It's surprisingly heavy. And when you look at it, if you look at it really closely, it looks like it's made out of lots of little boxes, somehow magically connected to each other. It's a piece of galena. Galena is a metal. It's an ore for lead. And if I handle it too much, my hands will get dirty. And I get a nice streak on the streak plate with it. Let's see, one more thing. Oh, here's a piece of bauxite. Bauxite has an earthy luster. One of the things that's very distinctive about bauxite are these little round pea-shaped inclusions, these little round pieces in it. That's very indicative of bauxite. And even if none of the other traits on the chart hold true, that's going to hold true. Bauxite is an ore for aluminum. I can't remember if I've said that yet or not. And when I draw on my streak plate, you can see I get a colored streak. So it has an earthy luster, just like the galena. I'm sorry, not the galena. The malachite had an earthy luster. So malachite has an earthy luster. Bauxite has an earthy luster. We had 3 things that had metallic lusters. 3 things that had metallic lusters. We had 1 sample of something that could be called vitreous or silky. That was the case of the talc, so soft I could scratch it. This is a piece of calcite. It has a very distinctive shape to it. It's shiny like it's made out of glass or plastic, and the streak is white or clear. So hopefully you have some idea of how to determine a streak using a streak plate. Usually you'd write down the color, and how to decide if something is metallic or earthy or vitreous.